Team Ninja are back with 2024's Rise of the Rōnin, but does it hold up to their best? Let's find out. Thank you to Sony PlayStation for the review code. Hello everybody, my name is Warwick and welcome to Warwick Reviews, where I will be reviewing Rise of the Rōnin, a 2024 action role-playing video game by Team Ninja for the PlayStation 5 exclusive. And we're going to talk about my thoughts and feelings, talk about a bit about the basics, about the settings and stuff, and let you know what's it all about. So before we obviously start, thanks for watching, thanks for being here. If you haven't already, please give us a like and a subscribe, I really appreciate it. If you have done that, give us a comment. Or actually, do all the above. You can do whatever you want. You can wait till the after video if you want to, or you can do it now. I do not mind, but thank you for being there either way. So, this is Rise of the Rōnin. Came out in 2024 in March for the PlayStation 5. And what I normally like to do is talk about the game, like the sort of settings and stuff. And what I will say straight away, when you start the game, you are introduced to the user accessibility options. So you are greeted with control assist, input methods, and I really want to sing the praises straight away of the accessibility options with Rise of the Rōnin. There's a lot here, which is great to see, and it's not seem to be buried anywhere. It's not like you have to wait to play part of the game to access it. It is there at the very beginning. The argument side of things, you could say, well, actually, I don't know what half these things are until I play it, which is valid. But what I will say is it's great to see this, that you can actually look at the control straight away. You can look at controller mapping. You can actually change the mapping. You can swap left and right sticks. You've got camera modes. You've got hold time. How long you want to hold something. You can change that. How to use guard. How to use your ready sub weapon. Aim assist. Automatic additional attack. So if you want to automatically attack, you can. Or automatic assist. So when you do attack, it'll automatically do assistant for you. Auto grab. Auto crouch. There's a lot of settings here, which is great, really great to see. But again, as accessibility, as I always say in every single video, and will continue to, accessibility is a wonderful thing because it makes it accessible for so many people to play games that they may not be able to otherwise. It's not about how hard or how easy a game is, that you can play however you want. Having accessibility enables even more people to play these types of games that they may not be able to otherwise. So having more accessibility in games is definitely a wanted thing. And I will say, the reviews that I've done so far, this is definitely one of the best. It's great to see. So you got all that, you got all bits and bobs that I was looking through. There's quite a few there. And then you sort of get in and there's like this opening cutscene arrives, which is very cool. Very Team Ninja, I will say. And, you know, you get a feel of what's going on. He sort of establishes the world a little bit. No real story beats at the moment. It's just more just a lot of swords fighting and a lot of jumping around. And it looks very cool. Also, lots of fire as well. I would say it's like a greatest hits in a sense. It was like, these are the story bits within the game that you're going to experience. So you might be like, oh, I'm going to see this character or see this character or see this character in it. So it's sort of like here's what's going to happen soon, you know? And then you just into this cutscene with this sword with the fire in the background. Just says press any button. Very cool. Very nice. I will say this is a nitpick of mine. I would like to stay in this menu for longer. I like the sound of the fire in the background. I like the aesthetic of it. But it does after I think 30 seconds, it goes back to the cutscene. Like, no, I just want to just vibe in that little area with the menu side of things. So that's just me. That's just me. So you can just press it and go back again. It's fine. There's a bit more settings here. Basic settings. So you can like change loadouts. You can change sort of skip cutscenes. You can actually force yourself not to skip them for the first time or skip previous ones. What character you start with from the cutscenes. Online features. If you want to play it offline, you can. There are online features, but there is a offline mode, or I would say it is an offline game, so you don't have to be plugged into the internet. And then you've got different settings. You can actually change like headgear appears. You can change the setting of blood, disembowelment. So if you don't want to see limbs being cut off, you can change that. You can change also the HUD. So if you don't want to see damage to yourself, damage to your allies, you can change. There's a lot there. You can really customize your game to how you want it, how to make it feel, which I think is really cool to see. And then you got like vibration, camera assist. You got audio, got picture. So this one actually, this is probably the first PlayStation 5 game that I've experienced that actually has 3 different graphic modes. Normally it's either frames or graphics, but this one actually, you can actually prioritize frames per second, which gives you a steady 60 frames per second. You can also have higher graphics, which I believe is like, I think 4K by 30 frames per second. but there's also another mode, ray tracing option. I've never seen before. We'll look at that later on when we get into the game and stuff. But yeah, there's actually ray tracing, which I thought was interesting to see, but you normally only see it in PC games. But with the picture, you can also change different things in motion blur. You can turn off depth of field, etc. Then you've got your accessibility, which we looked at before. So you've got other bits and bobs you can update again. And then once we do that, once we're happy with their settings, we start the game. We learn about the story, learn about what's going on, who you are, what's happening, why it's happening. And then you get to the character creation. And I will say this character creation is unique in a way, for me anyway, that you actually create two characters. So you're actually creating two characters. So with the story, you are basically a blade twin. So there's two of you. So you can actually customize both of them however you want, absolutely any way you want. You can have twins, you can have brother sister, you can have whatever. I will say I don't want to go too much into it because there's a lot, because I will be all day. But there's so much you can do here. Like there's so much customization. Like you've got presets, then you can change like fine tune and stuff, fine tune the skin color if you want to. You can fine tune cheekbones. You can change aging, eyebrows, eyes, irises and pupils, your nose. I loved the amount of options that they had with this game. It was absolutely incredible. I could have spent hours in this. I didn't, frankly, because I did have a review video to do. Teeth as well. You can actually have whatever colored teeth as well if you want to. You can have it red. You can have any color. And then you can change beards. You can change hairstyles. You can highlights. You can add extra minutes to that hair. And it's just really, really, really good character creation. Like it's really cool. One big thing I will say compared to others is that you can actually change the color of the hair to anything, where other games it seems to be restricted to certain colors. So it was good to be able to sort of basically have any color you want, make it look as out there as possible. And probably my favorite thing, honestly, is toenails and fingernails. You can actually have nail polish, which I don't think I've ever seen in a character creation that I've played. To be fair, I've not played every character creation, so sure there's maybe some out there, but to actually be able to actually have nail polish as an option, actually have it on the character, what I thought was great, because I wear black nail polish. So to have that was actually really cool. So I was like, wow. And then you got tattoos and you got body marks and stuff. And there's just so much there. You can literally spend hours in it. You can place tattoos where you want to be. You can change the hair color of your body. You can enable body hair. There's so many options there. And what I will say, if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, character creation, like if you feel there's a lot there, what you can do, you can just randomize. And I randomized my second character, and I thought they did a pretty good job. And then you get to the blade sharpening origin. This is where you choose how you want to play the game. Killer, breaker, seducer, sapper, beginner, or unsharpened. So if you want to be like a killer, skills are more in strength. Breaker is more about dexterity. Seducer, charm. Sapper is more intelligence. So you can sort of talk, you would be more intelligent about things. Beginner, start as a beginner. And unsharpened is literally you have no skills. So you can have it how you want to. And then each one gives you recommended weapons. And you obtain a special skill with that sharpening origin. And then you're introduced into like your skill tree. So most games nowadays have skill trees. Most people are aware of them, but you have strength, you have other elements, and then you can upgrade certain bits and you have numbers to your side and you can go, okay, I'm going to add strength here, there, and everywhere. And you can sort of tailor it to how you want to, how you play through, you want to play through it. Talk to beasts or have a hard time detecting you, which will help. Other like elements, and also shows you like video, what it's about, text about what happens, how to do it and stuff, which is quite cool. And then you get into the game. So you are a blade twin. So you got your two characters that you've made together, and then you're home your base, and you can actually pick which character you want to play. So you can play either one. So you don't have to pick one or the other. You can go, you know what, I'm gonna play this person or the other person. I went with my one, the one with blue hair and the beard. And then you've got your blade twin with you, who is like controlled by the AI. And this is where you get bearings about the game. I will say the game handles very well. I feel like there are certain elements that it doesn't quite utilize the PlayStation 5's graphical powerhouse at times. But I will say I'm playing currently on 5 frames per second, which gives a steady 60 frames per second, and it handles very well. And I do feel like for the most part, it looks really, really good. Like you've got good details in the grass, got a good environments and stuff. I will say the character himself, while it's competent, it feels like it could be a bit more there. But I think overall they've done a decent job. And like I said earlier, there's actually 3 different visual settings. So you've got prioritized frames per second, you've got prioritized graphics. There's also a third one called ray tracing. I will say, outside of the drop frames, there doesn't seem to be much of a difference compared to frames per second. Like, yeah, there's a bit more texture in the character models and stuff, and background seems a bit more defined. I think overall, you are sacrificing a lot for very little, because with the ray tracing, you are sacrificing frames, so you get about 30 frames, where with prioritized FPS, you're getting a steady 60. You can see it's a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, and I don't think there's much of a graphical difference. So I feel like, for me anyway, playing prioritized frame per second is the way to go, especially with these types of games. But anyway, you are following the blade twin. You are learning around, or as me, just breaking things as I go, because I think you have to do it in games just because it's just standard, isn't it? And then this is where you start picking up your weapons. So you can actually pick up any weapons you want, but you would pick up the ones that you specialize with. So you got 2 weapons you choose here will be your initial weapons. The weapons best suited to use determined by blade sharpening origin. So I picked a katana, and I actually picked a double katana because I thought that would be the easiest to play around with. And then once you pick up, you learn about attacking. So you've got normal attacks, advancing attacks, and charge attacks. And you've got the buttons next to you, so you can actually do a bit of a practice dummy next to you, and you get a feel of the battling and stuff, and like the targeting. So you've got lock on, you've got charge attacks, you've got advancing, and you've got normal. You start learning about how it works, and like you either go to like single sword or double sword. I think I kept double for most of it, just because it looked cool. And there's me just practicing a little bit with that, and my twin waiting very patiently for me. And then as you're going, you are battling, I don't know if they're enemies or they're just NPCs just giving you a bit of training, but you are learning about basics. So you've got about blocking and dodging. So it's about learning the skills that you will need in the game. So you've got your twin who's actually battling with you as well, and they're very competent in what they do. And you've got a grappling hook, which is a really cool feature. So you've got a grappling hook to get you places and stuff. And then you go through it, you learn a bit more about the battling, how it works, getting the feel of the game and the martial skills as well. So there's like special skills, which you've got part of your power, which you can use. Downside with that, if you time it incorrectly, you might be open to attack from the enemy, but time it well, you can get it right. And yeah, it's a very competent tutorial. It explains things very well. It's very clear how it is with the text and with the buttons next to it and how it works. But like I said, what I did say earlier is at points, the game looks absolutely beautiful. Like this bit on the bridge with like sort of the autumn leaves, like cherry blossoms as well. It looks absolutely incredible. This is on the prioritized frames per second. It looks absolutely stunning. Changing to graphical or prioritized graphics didn't really seem to do much of a difference. Like the only thing I've really noticed was the frame dropping. You can definitely see from 60 to 30 frames. Water and other things may look a bit better. I decided to go in the water for a little bit, which is quite nice. At points, it looks really beautiful. At other points, it feels like it's held back a little bit, but I think it's competent enough. But anyway, you've got like save points, similar to like sort of Soul-like games where you've got these banners where you can re-heal, you can sort of loadouts and stuff. They do have enemies reappear from that, so you have to be aware of that. You've got this bit where you go to your master, fighting your blade twin. So you've got counter spark, which is sort of like the big thing about this game. So use a counter spark to deflect and neutralize enemy attacks. So deflecting attacks with counter sparks will cause enemies to become temporarily panicked, opening up to bigger attacks. So this is learning about the big sort of mechanic of this game. So you've got counter sparks. So it's about timing it right. And I will say with this, it's not a hack and slash type game where you just button smash. I did try to do it a lot. It doesn't always get me very far, as you probably tell later on in the video. It's very much about taking your time, planning, learning what style of battle they are, how long it takes for them to wind up attack, and using that to time it just right. And then button smash at the end, because that's what I decided to do. I got one counter spark. I was like, I'm going to keep going. And you can like chains as well, so you can change counter sparks. So they do a few attacks, timing it right. It's very much about being counteractive. It's not about being aggressive in this fighting. It's very much waiting for your enemy to attack and using that against them. So for the battling, it can seem a bit slower than maybe other games people may be used to, but makes you think about it, sort of aware of what's around you and sort of who you're fighting rather than just going in all guns, all blades first and smashing around. And then you do a bit more against one of the masters, you learn about critical hits and stuff. And, you know, again, standard tutorial, learn about the basics, get you into the game, learn a bit about the story as well, about who you are, and then you start your first mission. So you've got mission start, so you infiltrate the black ship. This is very, very cool. So you've got to do a bit of swimming, learn about assassinations as well, so you can be sneaky. I will say with this game, there is a lot of options of how you want to play this game. So you can go in, sneak around to assassinate them from behind, or just, as I've done here, just keep smashing them until they die, or until I die. With this, you can actually change characters. So during battle, you can actually change to your other blade twin, which I think is a really nice feature, so you can change around. The AI is competent enough. They do seem to wait a little bit longer. They're probably doing the job they should be doing. I'm just smashing around everywhere, but you can swap around if you want to get sort of a different feel of things, which is quite cool. With this mission, you're going in trying to find the Commodore's cabin, you're trying to find some information, you do a bit of exploring, and then you get another element with guns. So guns are in this game, and actually you can get guns as well, and you can deflect bullets as well. And again, it's just getting the timing right and learning about it. This enemy was very patient with me. Very patient with me, because I was just trying to get the timing right and learning. And you got like 5 blades, and then you can do like cool like finishing moves. But handled very well, and you learn a bit more. You get like equipment, so you can also do different equipment. So primary weapons, you can change armor, items, your weapons, sub weapons. You've got stats and equipment that you can find and loot as you go. And then this is where we introduce to our first character. So this is Matthew Perry, not the Friends Matthew Perry, but a different Matthew Perry. I don't think was Blade user, but anyway, in this game, they are. So you defeat him. He's got a gun and a blade because he's cheating. And you got different techniques. You can use barrels, you can use environments around you. And it's just learning how the game works. Again, being patient, looking at their skills, timing it right, not letting them attack you, and, you know, probably failing a few times. As I did with this game. Once you got that, then you're introduced to like the big twist already in the game where you now have to make a decision. So this blue demon, don't know who they are, but they will say, so which of you will do the deed? So you actually have to choose who you want to play as for the rest of the game. I actually chose the female Blade Twin. So my main character with the blue actually seems like they actually perish. They actually do lose an arm. And yeah, and from then on, you lose that character. So you actually lose them as a playable character. So what I think is really interesting with this game is it gives you so much variety to create two characters and then just lose one like straight away. I think that's really cool. Maybe they come back. Maybe it'd be worth putting the time in when they come back. But for now, we have to run because we've lost our Blade Twin. And now we play as the other one, basically trying to get revenge. And then we find that the village is under attack by these enemies trying to find us. And then we have to defeat them and learn about our skills and everything else. And then we even have to defeat other people that were close to us because we can't leave. This is where you can choose how to fight. You can go all guns blazing, or you can sneak around. So I learned about sort of the mechanics, just wanted to sneak around and, you know, try not to get into like a fist fight because I wasn't very good at it. And then that is basically when sort of the game starts proper. So you go through this. It's like a sort of prologue, sort of induction of the whole story of who you are, what your aim is of the game. And then the game opens up to the title and the world is there for you taking, to explore, to find more information where maybe your brother or your Blade Twin is, to seek revenge for the people that have lost. There's side quests you can do, various things. You can help villagers around by you. There's also one that I think you can pet cats from all around different villages, which I think is really neat. And that is basically Rise of the Rōnin. I will say I had a decent time with this game. It's an odd one. Like what Team Ninja have got here, I think it's a good game. I just think it could have been better. The mechanics are there. Like the story is really cool. I like the mechanic of the twin blades and you lose one, you have to find them and get other party members later in the game. I like the world that they've created. I like what they're trying to say with this, but I do feel it's not quite there. And I'm not sure why for me. I can't really pinpoint it why it's not there for me, but just there's something about it. I don't know if it's just with certain elements of the world. Like I don't think I utilising the PlayStation 5 hardware as much as they could. I feel like there's other elements where they sort of held back a little bit. There's even points with the graphics where it didn't hold as well as it could have done, even with the frames per second prioritizing. It did seem like some of it's popping in. I did put it into ray tracing, and again, I didn't see much of a difference. It just seemed like it just slowed down my game. Like the frames per second was very noticeable. It seemed like a lot more jagged areas and stuff where it didn't really seem to be worth changing graphical settings. So I feel with that, they sort of let themselves down a little bit. With the combat, I can understand where it might seem a bit not slow, but I feel like it's built to be like that, where it's very much not about being offensive, but very much about attacking after someone else attacked you, learning their techniques and sort of using that patience stuff, which I think is a fine mechanic. I do feel like there's not much variety there, whereas there could have been. Obviously, when you explore more, there might be other options and stuff, it might be a bit of flavour. But again, it does very much feel like with every battle that I had that I showcased here and play continued from was wait, counter, attack. Wait, counter, attack. It was very much like there was a little bit of flavour in bits and places, but for the most part, I did feel like it was just rinse and repeat. So it didn't feel like there was much there. It was a good game. I feel like if you like this type of game, I think you would get a lot out of it. I think you really would enjoy it. I had a decent time with it, but I feel like it was just something just a bit missing there, I believe. I'm not sure if they held back slightly for whatever reason, but I feel like there are probably similar games similar to this that probably executed things better, which may be worth more your time. I will say, if you like to look at this, check it out for yourself. Let me know what you thought down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. I really would. Like, there's so many games made out there that not every game is going to be liked by everyone, and one person's favorite won't be someone else's favorite. Let me know what you thought down below. Thank you for watching. My name is Warwick. I mainly stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Warwick. And also been doing quite a few review videos, so hopefully check out one or two while you're here. Let me know if I was wrong, if I was right, if I was somewhere in the middle. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please take care, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.